Hello everyone, this is Jeannie Ellis, also known as Scrapbooking Mama. Today I want to share with you a tutorial using product from Create for Less for the design team of Crafters Castle. But first, before I get started on the tutorial, I want to share with you what I got for my project. The first thing I want to let you know is that this is called a Buildlets Framing Collection. And the one that I had received and asked for is called Owl Framing Friends. Now it's a 3D chipboard frame, and you do have to do some assembly to it, which is okay because it says it's craft for ages 10 plus. So hopefully I can handle it if it's for 10 plus. Let's hope, okay? Anyway, let's open this up and see what we have. Now I've not opened this up yet, so I don't even know what's in there yet. I know, of course, it's got the assembly pieces to it, but I don't know all the pieces to it. So let's pull these out. And this is separate, and it's sealed separately, so which is good. That'll keep it nice and even, and it won't tear up in the meantime. I think I just hit the camera. So here's all the pieces to it. So what I'm going to do, just to save some time, I'm going to go ahead and I'll probably put this together. I'll look this over first and see if I need to put it together or if I need to decorate it first or what. So I'll be back and show you what my next step is. So stay tuned. Okay, I am back, and as you can see, I have parts of the owl painted with acrylics. I did brown acrylic and I did a black acrylic on the eyes, and as you can see on some of these I distressed the images. Let me see if they'll focus or not. Yes, that has the black soot distress oxide ink on it, and so do all the brown pieces do. And I noticed that on the eyes that I had some white spots, so all I did was take the same thing and go around the eyes with it. Now on the head I use walnut stain distress oxide. So what I'm going to do next is finish distressing the rest of these. I'm going to kind of slide those over a little bit, and all I did was take my black soot and just go along the edges, and you can put on as much as you want, as little as you want. And the reason I'm doing this is because I think it'll just add something to the frame. It'll just, you know, make it look, give it a little bit of a realistic look to it. So for me anyway, that's what I have in my mind. So I have never done this kit before, this type of a kit before, so bear with me and we'll work on this together. And I think that it's going to be something that I really am going to enjoy, especially if it says on the package even a 10-year-old can do it. Well, it doesn't say even a 10-year-old, it says for 10 plus. So I figure if even a 10-year-old can do it, I should be able to, don't you think? So I'm just going to add a little black into this area too. Just kind of go over a little bit, give it some shading. There, I like that shading in there. I may do that with the feet a little bit too. I also had some other ink to go on the beak. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Let me see. I may just go ahead and do the same thing on it. I know this is probably not a brown beak, but I'm just going to leave it that way. So let's see how that goes. Now the process is to put it together, and thank God they have instructions, because I am one that needs, most of the time for things like this, I need instructions. It shows how to assemble it together. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, instead of, and I recommend you do it the way it says, but for what I'm going to do is to go ahead. Well, no, I'm going to go ahead and do what it says. I changed my mind the last second. I always do that, it seems like. I'm going to go ahead and fix the eyes, the beak, and the brow to the face, just like it shows. But I am going to use art glitter glue. And the reason I want to use the art glitter glue or any liquid glue, and you can see I got paint back here, but that's not going to matter because that's not going to show. But the reason, and I had that open a minute ago, why is it not working? Oh, there we go. The reason I want to use the liquid glue is so it'll give me, you know, some play time with it rather than using hot glue or something, because hot glue dries so quickly. And I don't want to glue dry that quickly because I do want to have a little play time on it to work with it. Some wiggle room. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. I'm going to start with the ear. Okay, so I'm going to, my goodness, I think it's already, there we go. I thought it already dried and I missed my chance on that. Okay, so I've got the face or the brow on now, and I'm going to work with it, make sure it's all even, and it looks like the way I want it to go. So I'm going to give it a little press now. Press it down, and you can see I got a little ink here, but that's okay. That's, you know, that's not going to hurt anything. It just gives it more realistic look to it. Okay, now for the eyes, I've decided to go ahead, and you know how you have, you know, some animals will have a black outline on their eyes. That's on the white of the eye even. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just, you know, just a little bit. Let me get a wipe here. Get my finger cleaned off there. That way I can hold it better. And I'm just going to put some around the edge there. Try to be careful there. Let me hold it this way. Okay, let's put that up now. So the next thing I need to do is go ahead and see where I want the eyes, and it shows approximately, let me get some of that off. Approximately there. It's my preference, so it's wherever actually I want it to be. So, and if I just need to do some touch-ups, I can do that with a little acrylic paint. But for now, this is what we're doing. I believe that's where I want it, and so I am going to take a pencil, and I'm going to just kind of outline just a little bit around so I'll know where I want them. Like I said, you can acrylic paint over spots. That way I won't miss where I had it. So now I'm going to take the white of the eye and I'm going to go ahead and glue it down right there where my line is. I am going to, before I put the eyes on, because I want to do something to them, I'm going to go ahead and add the beak, his little beak here. And you can see it's, you know, it's not going to be seen there, so it doesn't matter that there's a little paint there, because it's going to be covered up. Nobody's going to see that. So I'm going to say right about here, and I see that there's a piece here on his nose. I might need to do something with that. Let's see if he's pretty even. He looks pretty good. Okay, so that's what we got so far. Let me see, the weather's changed, so the lighting has changed too. So let me see if I can fix that a little bit. Yeah. When the weather changes, starts to get bad. We're under a tornado watch, so the weather definitely has changed. But that's not going to stop me. Okay, so now I want to go ahead, let me see, go ahead and put on his eyelids. Okay, so now what I want to do is to go ahead and put the eyeballs in. I can do all kinds of things with him. I can have him looking this way. I can have him looking this way. I can have him looking this way, right straight forward. I can have him cross-eyed even, if I wanted to, just to put a little fun into it. Little cross-eyed owl, which I think that would be cute too. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and put him in the center as close as possible. Excuse my frog. I've been having trouble the last few days with my throat, so battling something there with the throat. Now the reason I painted my owl is it doesn't show that you have to. This is just part of the process, if I can say it, that I wanted to take. So now what I'm going to do is, let me see if I want to do that. Let me see if I can put, if this pen will work, a little shine in his eye this way, or where the pupil has a shine. This is just a plain gel pen. Okay, now cap this up. And I haven't done the edging for the wings yet because it was still drying. But now what I want to do, so this can be drying, I want to give him a little shine to his eyes. Let me make sure this is dry. I'm going to put glossy accents on his eye, pupil that is. I may do the whole thing, I don't know yet, but right now it's just going to be on the pupil. Okay, so while he's drying with his eyes, his little pupils, because you know that way it just looks more real. I mean, it doesn't look so plain then. So I'm going to set him aside and let him dry over here. And I'm going to take my wings and I'm going to distress them now. I really like the edging on it. Now this is not completely dry there. It doesn't look like. That's the back side of it. That can be fixed. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I will speed up this process here of this video. Okay, now I have the edges of the wings distressed. Set these inks aside. And as you can see, I've got it all over my fingers. Not unusual. Now, the next step that it says, these are going to be set aside for now. is, let's see, face is done. Now it says to affix a photo to the inside of your backing board. So let me get the backing board and tell you what I'm going to do, because at the moment I don't have a picture to put in it. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to put in it. I have a sneaking hunch what I will put in it, but right now I don't know for sure. So because it tells me that it's a 3.5 by 5 inch picture that goes in there, I'm going to go ahead and affix the frame part. I didn't paint this because it was just like extremely white anyway. So I thought it was good that way. And I'm debating whether or not to go ahead and do some distressing on it, but I don't think I will, because I don't think it'll look right if this part here was distressed. I can always edge distress it later if I want to, but for now I'm just going to go ahead and leave it that way. So here I get my glue again, and like I said, because I already know the dimensions to that frame, that area, it's not going to be a problem. But if I wanted to, I could go ahead and turn it the other way, and that way it would be squared up perfectly. We know that for sure, but I am going to do it this way because I like that beveled edge there, and that's really the way it's supposed to be anyway. So this has got to be done pretty quickly. The head is still drying. So because of that, I need to be really careful if I decide to go ahead and do it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, you can see it's still kind of cloudy there. I can go ahead and add the feet if I want to. And the feet just kind of go down just a little bit. Okay, let's scoot it up a little bit. I am not in camera here. Sorry about that. Okay, I can put the feet, let's see, I want to be careful how far down I go. It shows it down further than what I've got. Kind of put the tips of the toes there, or the inside of the toes there. I think that's the way I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and put the feet on before I do anything else. If I want, after I get it all glued together, I can also do some tapping with some ink oxides and give this frame a color, and you know, that would look real pretty too. You know, it wouldn't be all over, it'd just be in spots or something. So I can do that if I want to. That's what I like about this. I can add to it if I want. Okay, so the feet are on. Just love that little owl face there. It says after you've put the face and the feet on, you can go ahead and put the frame, the board and everything over the image. And because this is going to be a permanent thing, that's why I glued it all the way around. It's going to be permanent. It's not going to be, because I thought about putting maybe some kind of a scripture in there, you know, something like that. But we'll see. But it's whatever I'm going to put in is going to be permanent. Now, if you're not going to have it to be permanent, then you need to leave an opening of some kind to slide your picture into, or, you know, don't glue around here and you can slide your picture in that way. But mine's going to be permanent, so that's why I'm doing it that way. Now it says to fit either side, the sides over either side of the matte imaging backing board, like a sandwich. Okay, where are they? This is my sandwich. And it goes this direction. So I better put the lid on. I kind of wish I had put the feet on afterwards, because in a way, okay, let me zoom out just a little bit. And you can see that I have them all put together. And its feet are on there. And I had to be very careful gluing the face on, because I didn't want to mess up the eyes. So now, a little thing that I did, I went ahead, because it, you know, standing it up, as you can see up the top down, it's wiggly here on these pieces here. So I added a bead of hot glue on the back to kind of keep it, you know, pretty steady. So, and then there's this little white piece. I probably put it in a little too far, but overall I'm happy with it. I think for the first time of doing it, I think it's okay. And something that I want to do is go ahead and add some feathers on, not all the way up and down necessarily, but just, you know, on different, you know, just kind of halfway up kind of. So I'm going to put some glue, and I'm going to start from this angle and kind of go up. That way the layers will be the way they're supposed to be. So here's one feather, and I'll just keep adding all these layers of feathers, and then I'll do it on both sides. And if I want to do it anywhere else, I can. I just want to make sure that the feathers are going top down rather than down the opposite direction, because the feathers, that's naturally, they're going to show the top ones first. They're going to be overlapping. So while it is kind of messy, I think it'll add some character. So I'll be back with that. So stay tuned. Okay, now I have it all decorated. I've got the feathers on it, and in the end I decided to go ahead and use a hot glue, because the other feathers weren't drying. I mean, the other glue wasn't drying the feathers fast enough. So I wanted it to dry just a little bit faster than what it was, so that's why I went ahead and used hot glue on it. But you gotta be careful, because the feathers will stick to your fingers. And it's not necessary to add the feathers. I just thought I might. You can see I've got some on his, you know, forehead there, and at the beginning of his wings here. And if I wanted to, I could add more, but I really don't want to do that. So right now he's finished. He's a finished owl. I don't think I'll be adding anything else to it except for whatever picture it is. And with the finished product, you know, if this is the finished product right now, you'll see an image at the end, all done, or I may add a picture or something inside. So anyway, that's my project. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you will try out this, the kits. I mean, they are really fun to make. There's all different kinds. It's not just animals. So have a great day, and I will talk to you later.